segment 2, the welfare state. This brings us precisely to the welfare state. Milton Friedman, James Buchanan, other economists in the 20th century have noticed, or their fundamental insight in which they've elaborated, that whereas the costs of the welfare state are spread across all taxpayers, each program has specific beneficiaries. Yeah. So beneficiaries have a stronger incentive to push for more than the general populace has to resist. Yeah. The result, the constantly growing welfare state. How does Prince Hans Adam propose to end that ratchet?
That ratchet, yes. I think if you have this right of self-determination on a local level, on a village level, in the case of Liechtenstein with our 11 communities, and that basically those small entities are more or less responsible for the welfare. If you have to have a certain kind of distribution between rich parts of the state and poor parts of the state, but basically if the local community is looking after those people who are really in need, I think you get a much better welfare system. And if we can do it as a small state with 35,000 people, I think there's no reason if a city or several villages together could do that, to look after their poor people.
The president of France recently enacted a law raising the retirement age from 60 to 62, and he faced riots. His capital city was shut down. And so my question is it reversible? Can the welfare state be unwound? In Europe in particular, I'm asking now.
I think yes, it can be. I think you have to explain it to the people in a sort of very clear way. You have to show them that it's necessary. And it's a rather new thing. It was Bismarck who introduced retirement with 65, and that was life expectancy at that time. So I think we have really to go back to the people and explain them very carefully, and then I think they understand. I've seen it with our people with direct democracy. If I went out there to explain them, I think you can do it.
You can. And do you sense, you have a program at Princeton in this country.
Yes.
Do you sense an intellectual, well, let me put it this way. To the extent that I'm aware of general trends in academia in the United States, they're still heavily to the left.
Yes.
Do you sense any counter current?
Yes, to a certain degree there is, also in Europe, because you see that many people see that it cannot go on like this. And well, my reason was really to look into this whole problem was that I was afraid that those big states would collapse. Mm. And that's also the reason why I wrote the book. I tried to show a way how to decentralize so that those states can survive and really concentrate on the most important things, and then have a really reform of the whole system.
Again, to quote the state in the Third Millennium, quote, "The best insurance against unemployment remains a policy that makes it attractive for companies to create new jobs. In the past, this was only possible with low taxation and little bureaucracy. It does not seem that this will change much in the Third Millennium." Once again, the difference between His Serene Highness Prince Hans Adam II and Sarah Palin is zero. I welcome you to the Tea Party. But here's the underlying question. Why is this lesson so hard to learn? In this country, we had Reagan, limited government, lower taxes, 25 years of economic growth, and yet now we have an administration that wants higher taxes and bigger government. There is something, excuse me, I put it to you in the form of a question, is there something permanently attractive about the state, irrationally attractive about the state?
Yes, I think so. I think we should not forget that our heritage was genetically and over hundreds, thousands or millions of years living in very small community without private ownership, basically, tribal systems. and there everybody looked for the other and so on. And we are still somehow, with our instincts, in this society. So this development even of the agricultural age and the modern age is very new, and we have not adapted to it, really. And I think we have to see how we can adapt the state to the people, how we are. And I think there's another element in that. I think for politicians to win election, basically you have to buy votes. And you can buy votes by handing out taxpayers' money, where few people can afford to pay it out of their own pocket, or by tax advantages. And therefore you get this very complicated system of taxation, which is very complicated, very expensive, a lot of money lost. So I think that's one of the reasons why we are in such a state.